You're not on the field or ice. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, picking any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am. Through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall every live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington football team update, and I am your host, CWall. Welcome, everybody. It's everybody getting into the building. Everybody getting into the building and dropping a line and commenting, sharing this show, clicking the love or like button so that we know that you are in the building. Definitely. I'm seeing folks are already chiming in. Make sure you're clicking that love and like button. I see DJ. I see David Hood has commented. I see Cameron Mingo has commented. And of course, everyone, while you're on, make sure you say hello to Mama Waller. Make sure you say hello to her. So, as always, we have a ton of things that we must cover. Gotta cover. Definitely have some announcements that I want to share with everybody, as well as kind of get into, it's a big week this week. You already know what I mean. And we're going to reflect on the NFL playoffs a bit. So make sure you're tagging in your favorite Washington football team while they're still the Washington football team. Fans, get them all checked in and share them to the group so that we can all enjoy this conversation together. So let's get into some announcements so we can make sure we have all of the time. Make sure you all are catching both Coaching from the Couch shows on your local cable television stations. If you have Fios, it's channel 11. If you have Xfinity, it is channel 77. So make sure you are tuned in there. And is everyone locked in to the email list? Make sure you're locked in to the CWall Sports and Entertainment email list. You can go to the website and get on the list there. Also, make sure you're tracking all the pages: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you are on. You are on. Okay, everybody. So, and the other one, I think this is a very important update. I am featured yet again on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus show, The Ladies on the Mic. I have the pleasure of being on there with other DC sports media powerhouses: Donna Hopkins, Diane Roberts, BJ Jackson, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, and Renee Washington. So as soon as I have that information, I will post that as well, so you all can be tuned in to Masson and Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus with the ladies taking on the mic. All right, Washington football team fans, check in. All right. I want you all to start sharing some of your lessons learned from this awesome, amazing playoffs. While you're doing that, let me back up. We got to talk about the playoffs, but I want to make sure I get you all's comments and feedback on the playoffs first. So listen, it is 2222 week, February 2nd, 2022. The name reveal is this week. The name reveal. So listen, pretty certain the name reveal is going to happen this week. It will be probably within that 8 o'clock hour. Okay, the team store will be open on Wednesday, when it opens at 9, but 8 a.m. probably right around that time. I'm assuming around 9 a.m. the announcement will already have been made. So make sure you are tuned in everywhere you can possibly be. CWall Sports and Entertainment will be there covering the event. We will be posting and sharing as much as we possibly can while there. So it will be an absolute early day for those of us in media that will be there. So make sure you're tuned in and locked in to CWall Sports. We will definitely be in the building and we'll be sharing in real time as much as we possibly can. So make sure you're tuned in, like I said, and all set with your notifications on to CWall Sports around that 8 o'clock hour. There's definitely co-CEOs and co-owners. Dan and Tanya Snyder will be on hand to provide remarks. Team President Jason Wright will be on hand to provide remarks, as well as select Washington football team alumni will be on as well. There's a ribbon cutting taking place at the team store. So all of the team paraphernalia will be on hand. We'll be there. So this is really happening, everybody. It's really happening. And I'm seeing comments coming in. So we'll see. I know we chatted last week on the show and I shared that we may do a fan reaction show. And I think what we're probably going to do is and I see comments coming in, do y'all like the Commanders? Hey, listen, if it's Commanders, then it's like, well, no, why would we do an additional show when we have still a Thursday show to plan for, and Commanders has been out for like a month. But if they are clever and the Commanders is indeed just a smoke and mirrors and it is a different name, then more than likely after all of the events transpire on site at FedEx Field, we may go ahead and do a fan reaction show of initial reactions and getting everybody used to it and used to this new name. So more to come. I'm seeing folks checking in. So make sure you hit that love or like button so we can make sure we acknowledge your comments. With everything else regarding 2222 this week, make sure you, if you like, get your tickets to the parking party. Don't forget, we announced the parking party. The team wants fans to come out and celebrate the new brand and the new name. So if you have it, make sure you go and get your tickets for that online. It's $5 per car. So make sure you all do that. Okay? Is everybody all right? Is everyone going to make it? Are you going to make it? This is going to be interesting. I said, oh, wow, this is really happening. Here we are. Officially a whole new name. So NFL playoffs, everybody. Has everyone been watching them? Has everyone been checking in? Let me know which game you thought was the best and how much fun you've been having watching these playoffs. Listen, there is so much that can be learned from these playoffs. I think I already saw a comment come in from Wallace about QB1. I mean, that's absolutely the case, right? You have to have a great QB1. This is not necessarily a good or serviceable QB1. This is absolutely like great. in a conversation of great QB1. And that's huge. That's big. Because, and that's something that we've been saying. This is something that we've been communicating on this show is time out for the serviceable. Get you somebody that's great, who has the eye for talent, who can get that person in this building out in Ashburn. Who can do that? What would convince a star, if we're going the veteran route, what's going to convince a star quarterback, a great quarterback, to go? I mean, hey, to the comment I see of Matt Stafford, LA Rams, got LA, the Rams, and even what he's done the past few years in what he did the last few years in Detroit, his numbers were great. But and plus they got outbid. The Rams got a whole lot of money. So they can make that move easily. Absolutely easily. So that's a key. That is absolutely key. Also, to the point of the Rams and Matt Stafford, we've seen the Rams make a move in free agency. Moves. And I'm going to go back to Matt Stafford for a minute. You see what a better organization and a better team will do for a player. So if with this new team, or new team name and new brand, things are going to have to change, because in these organizations and where we're seeing moves happening, organizations made some changes. They made some changes and they shook some things up with their front office and with their coaching staffs. And we're seeing the fruit of that now. And it's not taking years to see the difference either. It's not taking years of that. They're able to see it now. And like I said, the Rams, they went hard in free agency. They made some tough decisions. And not too long ago, they giving away all sorts of draft, but they doing it, you name it. They're doing it in order to do what? Win now. Right? Having Cooper Kupp wasn't enough. Having Cooper Kupp, let me say it again, was not enough. They had to do what? Go out and get Odell Beckham as well. Right? Cooper Kupp is mean. But that doesn't mean you can't still get an Odell Beckham. Aaron Donald, who some may argue is the best player in the league, not just the best defensive player, but the best player in the league. They didn't just leave it there. Von Miller, we love to have you. Among other areas where they made moves. That's how you master free agency. We're seeing teams doing it. Everybody's talking about the Bengals and everybody's talking about Joe Burrow. But the Bengals also made some great decisions also in the draft and also in free agency. In free agency, you can still make a move. Who are the talent evaluators? Who are they? Who has an eye for the talent, not to rebuild? Because I don't think we're seeing teams that are saying rebuild. We're seeing teams that have made the decision that what do we got to do to win now? What are we doing to beat teams now? So we've seen a team that have done a very impressive job in free agency. I mean, when the Rams made the move that they did, everybody knew the Rams are trying to go to the Super Bowl. And there they are. Bengals doing great in the draft. Just in a couple years, they've done and made some great decisions. Let me also say this. Here's another thing that we've learned, because a great quarterback, not serviceable, not good. We're talking great. Time out for the serviceable, time out for the development. Great. Win now. Can we win with them today? Because if I can't win with them today, we don't need it. That's what the way these teams are thinking, right? Let's not forget the importance of defense, because while offensive shootouts are fun, they're a lot of fun, aren't they? It's nice to watch an offensive shootout. But if you're a defensive-minded person, defense stops all that. And while during the Kansas City Bengals game, it wasn't, Patrick Mahomes didn't have his best second half. But let's not forget, Bengals defense is tough. They've been tough for a while. They've been tough all season long. So that's a good thing. You got to still have that. Can't just rely on the arm of your QB1. Because if he has a bad half, somebody else has got to make the play. We saw the Bengals defense giving a wonderful example of that this past weekend. Let me tell you something else that I learned and noticed in that game. Let's not forget about coaching. Coaching matters. Here's why. In that game, Kansas City Bengals, right before the half, Andy Reid said it was his decision to go for the touchdown instead of getting the field goal. Kansas City lost by 3 points. You were already up. Go for the 3 points. Go for the 3 points. You don't have to do that. Go ahead and get your 3 points. You lost by 3. That's your field goal right there. You don't have to deal with overtime. Just get the points where you can. You were already up. There was no need to get a touchdown. Just get your field goal, and then you're okay. You would end up winning by 3. It would have been nice. But hey, listen, your QB1 isn't always going to make magic happen. What we all witnessed between the Bills and the Chiefs game, that is just offensive mastery. That was just amazing. You hated to see anyone lose. But the reality is this. In professional sports, you're not going to have games like that every week. We've never seen a game like that in our lives. So to expect any quarterback to perform in that manner every single game, hey, listen, the magic happened. The magic got the Chiefs to the AFC Championship. That was magic right there. It got them there. But your QB goes off, one coaching decision that you might like to take back, and the other team, now the defense is picked up on the opposite team, and that gives the offense an opportunity to make a move, and you're going to lose because the game is never over. That's another thing we learned. You play to win. You play to win. You do not play not to lose. You play to win. Aggressive. You must be. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Rebuilding is a thing of the past. Folks aren't doing a rebuild anymore. They're not rebuilding. They want to win today. They want to win right now. That whole rebuild thing, I think that was like some 80s, that's some 90s stuff. They ain't doing that anymore. And I'm going to get to that in a moment too. Please don't let me forget, because I want to come back to this point too of the importance of special teams. Hey, listen, you all may laugh at me on this show when I talk about kickers. Kickers matter. You have to have a good kick. You have to be on point on all sides of the football. Kickers matter. These games coming down to a field goal. This is what I'm saying. Kickers matter. Got to have you a good one for certain. Okay? I want to go back to the game. The 49ers, they had a lot of fight in them. They really did. All throughout. I was super impressed with the 49ers. I really was. But let me tell you this. That game, the 49ers and the Green Bay game, special teams won that game. I'll tell you a couple things I noticed. When the 49ers blocked a field goal, we're talking about kickers matter, and Mason Crosby is good. He's been consistently good, but guess what? The 49ers sure did block that field goal, and they also blocked a punt. And when they blocked this punt, the 49ers got the football, scored the touchdown, right? Did you notice some teams, check this out, watch this. Have you noticed that some teams actually use their best player to return their kicks? When I saw Deebo Samuel back there for the 49ers, back there returning kicks, I said, ooh, the 49ers want to win bad. They really want to win. But that's what you do. One of the things that Tony McGee shared on his show, and I can't wait for you all to see it, is that when Washington was going back to the Super Bowl years, Who was back there returning kicks? Brian Mitchell and Darryl Green. Because at the end of the day, you're going to put your best player. That is an opportunity. Special teams is an opportunity. That is not a blind moment of the game. That's an opportunity to score. That is an opportunity to either score or get in the position to score. Special teams matter. You can make a move. They got Deebo Samuel back. I said that's a low. They got Deebo Samuel. And they also did that. The Bengals do that too. With their number one receiver, they do that. Put it back there. We're trying to get down the field. We're trying to score. We're trying to get in scoring range. That is what you do. That's what you do. You put your best players back there. It's an opportunity to score right off the break. Listen, I asked a question last week in the show, and I'm going to ask this question right here, right now. And that was simply this. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We, Washington football, are we there yet? What we have seen these teams do, even when there were coaching mistakes, even when your QB1 didn't have the strongest half. Look at these teams from top to bottom. Whole entire game. When games are being decided by a field goal, that means both teams have given it their best. They have given it their all. They said, we want to win. We are here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to win the Lombardi trophy. Somebody's got to lose, though, right? Somebody. But when you see games come to the wire like that means everybody did what they could. Everybody did what they could. What is going to prompt this team to have a win now mentality? Let me say this. This is the point I wanted to get to before, because see, I'm the kind of person, when I'm researching and when I'm a student of these games and watching these other teams play, see, listen, you always watch other teams play. Let me say this, and you've heard me say this a million times. If all you do is watch the one team play, all you do is watch the Washington football team play, and the opposing team that week, you have no idea what's going on in the league. You have absolutely no idea what's going on. You have to watch it all. And now I'm talking about just highlights. Now, if you play fantasy football, truth be told, if you're playing fantasy football, that actually helps you keep up with what other teams and what other players are doing, because you have to add those players, to your team. So that's what you have to do. But you can't just watch your team play. You have to watch the whole season, because things change. Things change with teams. Things change, and you got to see how they move when they go through adversity. Every team deals with injuries. Many teams dealt with COVID, right, and other things. You have to see how they respond. You have to see how they have longevity. Let me share this as well. I said to myself, okay, what could be the other learnings of what people are doing, right? In terms of win now. And I see your comment here, Wallace, and I'm going to put this on the screen. Win now last year when they won the division. 7 games and winning the division isn't the win now that I'm talking about. I'm talking about Lombardi trophy or go home. So I want to make sure that it's very, very clear what I'm speaking of. I'm not talking 7-game win regular seasons. I'm talking about 10 games plus Lombardi trophy. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's make a move, because at this point you've been rebuilding for 30 years. That's how long it's been. 30 years of rebuilding. So you sit back and you look and you say, hey, what is everybody? Why is the change happening? Why is this shift happening? Who did it? And I'm not saying this is the person to blame, but what I am saying is this is who these young quarterbacks grew up watching. And y'all already know what I'm going to say. They grew up watching Tom Brady. I said, that's what it is right there. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Every era has their GOAT. Every era has that player that they watched, that they wanted to be like, that they wanted to perfect their game in order to be better than. And who these coaches have is Bill Belichick. And who these quarterbacks have is Tom Brady. And that is why you're seeing the shift in how these teams are changing, and they are so quick to move. Okay, you had a bad year last year. Okay, and the next year, now you're in the playoffs. The next 2 years, you're going to be playing in the Super Bowl. They're moving because everybody knows that duo of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, everybody knows. They made it happen. They made it happen. Now, they used to make it happen with players that you may not even know their name, right? Nobody ever wants, nobody even knows some of those players' names. But some people, I'm going to go back to Sean McVay and others. You can even use Kyle Shanahan. They're going to go back and they're going to get the veteran players that they know still got something left in the tank, got a whole lot of something left in the tank, and they want to win now. Win now. I'm not drafting no quarterback to try to teach him how to quarterback. Okay? We're going to do what we got to do. You're going to learn the playbook and learn these plays, but there has to be a shift in the thinking of the coaching staff. More innovation, more creativity. And I think even beyond that, you have to have the mentality that the division is no longer enough. It is unacceptable. It has to stop, because these teams that we have been watching play and some of the best football, they've said even on record, they came to win everybody came to win the Lombardi Trophy. Everybody. Nobody looks like they stayed home. Nobody looks like that. Somebody's got to lose. Somebody. So, hey, at the end of the day, everybody knows the team needs a quarterback. What's going to be the pitch to get the quarterback? I'm thinking a pitch could be the new name, the new brand, an opportunity to lead something and be the face of something totally new, totally different. It needs to be, right? It needs to be. And what we are seeing is that it can be. If other teams can do it, so can the Washington football team. Winning has to matter. True, we have learned it. We're short on time now. We're almost to the end of this show for today. But listen, we already know, they've already said it, that this team makes money and doesn't have to win. Okay, all right, we got it. You making all the money in the world. That's cool. That's great. But what's super cool and what makes even more money than that is getting to the Super Bowl and winning. Okay? That's what it needs to happen. That is what we're watching. That is what we're seeing. We're seeing teams that are modeling the greats from coaching. That's who they look at. That's who they're modeling. That's what it is. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. The mentality. I can beat anybody across the line. Let me tell you something else, and then we definitely have to wrap up, okay? If you go back and watch that Rams 49ers game, let me tell you something. The defense got really, 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 really hype. They were lit. They were so super lit. And I said, them boys ain't, they not going home. They not about to watch the Super Bowl in their own city from home. And they made it happen. They made it happen. I could talk about that game for a long time, but that's not what we're here for. Y'all, more to come as always. More to come as always. Okay? New name coming this week. Make sure you're following CWall Sports and Entertainment for all of the updates. And we'll see. we'll see. It might be a game time decision. No pun intended on if we do a show. I mean, we always going to do a show later in the week anyway. You all know that. But we'll see. We'll see because it's going to be a very busy day and we'll see what happens. As always, thank you all so much for being amazing and being awesome and tuning in. I will see you all again soon.
You're not on the field, court, or ice. CWall. You're on the couch. From PG to DC. This is